Hello, me lovelies. Well, another live, more drama, drama, drama. So, uh, just wait for a few people to join in if they want to. Just hello, Carrie. If you're here, I'll be there. That's all I've got. I am Maud. It's all been drama again, haven't it? And I'm getting me itchy nose again. Do you know this stress me every time I go live. Are you Lavender Barn blog? Oh, how you Heather Sweet Pea? Are you the end is coming? Are you Paul? Or whatever that is, Tyrannosaur or whatever. Um, yeah, give it a little up. Oh, it's all getting dramatic, isn't it? Again. Just I noticed. Are you Matrix? Are you sure? Are you Paris? Missed you last week, sweetheart. Hope you're doing all right. Um, yeah. What happened? The latest I've noticed. Paddy Conroy is doing a live later, but he's told that Andrew Gine demands MMA Philosophy's acro. I haven't demanded his acro. All that I pointed out was that Steve Wraith uh, reminded him that he said he'd get it and he didn't put it up there. I never demanded it. Look, this is it. I don't have any major issues with MA philosophy. Or I would have said to him, wouldn't I? Get your Clare's law, get your Sayers law. I've never had any feelings or any suspicions that he's a danger to women or children. I've never had that. And so I'm not going to call him out on that because it would be stupid. So I don't, it's just that I say he knows well, he said himself, he knows what I think. I think he tells porcupines at times. But, as for being a person, no, I don't have any suspicions about MMA philosophy. And I certainly didn't demand he show his acro. But he was the one that said he'd put it out there. He was the one that said it. I was just all that is. As anyone knows, this documentary crew, yeah, cyberbullying crew, who are picking on anyone that they just don't like. That's what I'm annoyed with. If you're going to go into the child protection or because of a child protection team, you damn well better check each other out. Damn well better check each other out before you do that, because any predator group, professional predator hunter group will tell you. You'll get someone, you can get instances where someone that has got a bad background has infiltrated them to protect themselves or to deflect from themselves. I'm not saying that Anthony Baker, I'm not saying that Ellis or any of them have got anything on them. I don't know. And it wasn't because I was thinking, oh my God, these people could have, with children. That wasn't what I was thinking of. It's just that it's put out there, it isn't all the time by them. Get your Sarah's law, get your Clare's law and all that. I thought, well, why aren't these doing it as well if the so-called child protection? And the one that really kicked off for me was when Ellis said what he did about me. And I thought, you liar, no such thing at all. No such. He's just been talking to, by the sounds of it, the criminologist and using what he's saying. Well, just let's tell you, anyone in any doubt, watch my video about Lafferty and make your own minds up about whether you think he would be someone that you'd want to hang around with or take what he says as being gospel. Are you Emma? Are you Susan? Are you Mark? Stanbridge? Are you Kelsey? Heather, yes, you have a responsibility to fight exactly your own side. It's all good and fine to point fingers at evil people, but useless if you ignore problems in your own group. That's true. And it can be like a sweet shop if you have got someone that like-minded. And really, what did it for me was that It was just all adding up. Literally, that they put it on a plate for you, then complain when you pull them. When Ellis said that, I wasn't even looking at his documentary. If he wants to make a documentary, or anyone wants to make a documentary about Decca, that's up to them. But when he turned around and said what he did, that's when I knew, no, this is cyberbullying. This is creating a vendetta online to go against people they don't like. Then it became Steve Wraith is the target now. And I'm sorry, if you look at Paddy Conroy's latest one, that makes it obvious again. This is not a child protection team. This is just a cover for trying to label people they don't like as being a danger to children. And that's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting for anyone to do, especially adult men like that, to use child protection as a vessel to intimidate and bully people. And if anyone's involved in this, and I'm sorry, Paddy, that includes you, you've got to get it all out there. You say as though you clear as though the lot to make sure that everyone's above board. That's all anyone's asking for. All that I know so far is that Beckett, every time I ask him, he's deflecting from it. And when I've asked Ellis, he's also going, oh, yeah, I got a message the other day from someone that he said that he was quite willing to let me to do his Sarah and Claire's law, right? And I said, yeah, I said, but I can't just go on to the police and say, oh, here we are. I know this fella called Paul Ellis. Can you do a check? They'll say, what Paul Ellis? It's not exactly an unusual name. There's loads of Paul Ellis's. I'd have to have his date of birth, his address. I'd have to have all that. So it's like they're playing games at the moment, trying to avoid the issue. I'm not saying there isn't on them. I'm certainly not accusing Beckett, and I am certainly not accusing Ellis, and I'm certainly not accusing Paddy of having anything on them about children. If anyone's thinking that, I'm not. But just let's put it this way. Ellis felt quite comfortable making allegations against me, which just aren't true. And I tell you what, if he continues with that, he'll know why Beckett turned around and went when he was mentioned my name when he was talking to Paddy Conroy. Well, didn't mention my name, tried to say AD. Doesn't work. People in the chat were saying who it was, so it doesn't work. Just saying initials. Hi, Fionn. Hi, Uncle K's line, Den. So that's the latest. But I'm not up for a run-in with Paddy Conroy. I say I always found Paddy Conroy funny to watch. I don't find him, but I think in this instance, he wants to reassess. Look, if he wants to go after Steve Wraith, if he wants to go after someone else, if they all do, go after them, but don't put it under the banner that somehow you're trying to protect children. That's disgusting, especially when there's been no checks done on yourselves. So, just here we are, Emma Jones. My friend's uncle is a child protection officer, but he's employed and paid by the government. These people ain't any sort of child protection. They're all self-titled. That's it. Look, people, you can't just have someone setting themselves up. These predator hunters that you hear of and you see online. The reason they're not arrested is they are fully trained. They've got training themselves, and they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, and they do all the checks to ensure everything's safe. And that's what they do. But at the moment, with this Lauren Hardy setup, which is exactly what it is, it's a Lauren Hardy setup. You've got Anthony Beckett smashed off his face. He's wasted. They're sitting in a room talking rubbish. That is not child protection. And you've got to be very, very careful of people doing that kind of thing. They are wrong to the court. This is it. It needs stopping Paddy. If Paddy sees this, you really do, Paddy, need to stop that. You want to have a go at Steve, whatever, have a go at him. But don't do it under that banner, because the only one you're going to discredit is yourself. It's a low blow. Leave child protection. If you want to get involved in child protection, do it for that reason. Don't do it to try and fire. And let me just point out, and I said this on my community page, I remember the first time I spoke to Steve Wraith, right? The very first time, and he was talking about party or whatever. And I don't know whether I said to him, I said, well, I don't get the feeling that Paddy is, which you don't. I don't get the feeling that Paddy is a danger to children. And I think the reason he's fuming is because people have said things about him. So anyway, Steve Wraith, straight away, click your fingers. He said, I don't believe her. I don't believe he is. He said it the other day when I was talking to him. I don't believe Paddy Conroy is. So it's a bit of a low blow for Paddy Conroy to start doing this now. And I think when you get to that, Paddy, I'm stepping well away, because there's certain lines you don't cross over. So it's been taken to a new low, and you will find it will be you, Beckett, and Ellis that will come up worse. And when you're talking about it now, you can tell Ellis is thinking he's going to be some documentary maker. And, he's trying to do, I don't know what, create a new Major Tom with his grandfather or great-grandfather. That's going to spoil all that if it gets out there that he's going round cyberbullying and people and all this. It's going to mire everything he does. That's why I say you have to be very, very careful. Very careful. Kelsey, they've taken it as a personal attack, yeah. When you've just said anyone being an activist or investigating into child protection should be transparent with their own checks, applies to anyone, which it does. And guess what? You can't have a connection to the person you're investigating. You have to give that to someone else. Do you know if a police officer is related to someone or knows someone as a friend of someone that's being investigated, that they have to say that to the supervision, that say, I know this person. That happened to me a couple of times where I knew someone who was being investigated by the police, not for anything to do with children, but for gangster issues, let's put it that way. But I knew them as kids from the area. Now, I hadn't seen them for years, but I had to tell them because one of them was coming in to be interviewed. And I said, I can't take the statement off him. I said, I know, from when I was a kid. You have to say that. And that's because to stop any allegations that that I was either going to set them up or I was going to help them. See what I'm saying? And Anthony, before you start mouthing off, remember, you're the one that's crone out there that you're living with. It was a chief inspector. So be careful about this Freemasons and all that that's going around, this rubbish. So let's see. Oh, thank you. But that's the latest now. I won't be able to get it because, funny enough, I'm going to be on but this was arranged a few days ago. I'm going to be on Steve Wraith's news night at 8 o'clock. So I can't have this going on for 2 hours or whatever. But if anyone wants to join in, please do join in. But let me just say, if MMA Philosophy is listening, I have because that's what got me when he turned around and said, I've got nothing against me against children. I never said you did, and I never thought you have, MA Philosophy. Never once have I thought that about you. But when you start getting into games like this, and you start using subjects like this to threaten people and get back at people you don't like, you're going to be pulled yourself. People aren't going to sit there and be sitting ducks. And anyone that knows me is I hate things like this happening. I hate them. So I will draw attention to us. I will say, no, that's wrong. And if Steve Wraith did something that I thought was wrong, I'd say Steve Wraith was wrong. And let's put it this way, another thing let's just point out, Ellis did not stop talking to Steve Wraith. Steve Wraith stopped talking to Paul Ellis. And that was only, I think it was a day or a couple of days before Paul met up with Paddy. Worked that one out. So Paddy, Paul Ellis, if you're expecting, I don't know whether Paul Ellis, this might be, I don't know, it might be news to Paul Ellis. It might be like, what do you mean we're doing a one about Steve Wraith? This is news to me. He might find that news to him that they're doing it. But if he is doing it, it wasn't him that ended talking to Steve Wraith, it was the other way around. And just let me also point out, Paddy, and I've got to do this. I've been avoiding saying this for a while, but I'm going to say it now because everything's got to be put out on the table. The only reason you turned on Decca was because Decca interviewed Steve Wraith. That was the day you turned on. It had nothing to do because you were concerned about allegations out there against him. Just let's get that on the table. Now, I'm going to put this in if anyone wants a little talk. Keep on forgetting to hit the chat button because I can struggle to see the chat. Yeah, anyway, do you like my new look? I've decided to go for a bit of a softer look. No, without the false eyelashes and all that. So go for a softer. I'm going to start toning it down because I'm looking at it and it's not working. I think I've learned the lesson. When you get old and you get older, putting on more makeup doesn't make you look better. It just makes you look older than you are. Actually, I look like, I was looking at myself on one of them the other day and thought, I look like a night bag. I look like I've just been dug up and the mortician put too bleeding much makeup on me. Yeah, so go for a softer look. Gone are me days of putting a slap on an inch thick and getting away with it. Now it emphasizes the wrinkles and the hollow cheeks when I do that now. Yeah, that's it. Less is more. How's my Paris doing? I missed you last week, Paris. I did. The last time we were on. How's my Paris doing? Come on. Oh, here we are. Someone here. Oh, God. Here we are. You better not start. You better not start your nonsense like you did last time. I've been shadow banned. Right. I don't want no shadow ban rubbish. Okay, come on. Here we are. If I can find me bleeding... Oh, my mouse. Here we are. Hello.
Do us a favour, please.
Yeah.
Can you go in your settings and unblock me? Because one of your mods has unblocked me. I cannot comment on your channel. I can get on stream because it's got nothing to do with the way YouTube works. I am shadow banned. Ask your mods. You go on your channel and you will see Hang Tight is blocked. I cannot comment. I cannot comment. I have tried, and they are playing you for a fool. If you don't understand.
How do you know? Wait a minute. How do you know it wasn't me that did it by accident? I've done that in the past. No,
one you might have done. All I'm saying is I'm shadow banned from your live.
Well, look, right. I'll sort it out tonight, right? Make sure I'll sort out. Are your hands tight with the Z on the end?
Yes.
Well, what I'll do is after I've been on here, after I've been on Steve Wraith, I'll look, and if I've accidentally blocked you, I'll unblock you. I don't know whether if I try it now, it's going to take me out the stream.
How do you think I got on the other night by using my friend's account? That's how I got on the other night. I'm getting on the night through my account because it's through StreamYard. StreamYard is not YouTube. Yes? What I'm saying is, I would just like to let that known because I'm not going to subscribe to you or listen to you, which I did respect you on. But for that, and the other night calling us a weirdo, because I call you a lot of things like weirdo. I think you're weird for dressing like a man.
Look, right. Just let's stop you right now. Right.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think it's the reason it did ban you if it did.
And
don't carry on. If you want to carry on creating here,
before I even entered your live. What I'm saying is,
look here, we are the control I have. I am the goddess around here. I can mute you when you shout. Now let me just finish what I'm saying. Either you bleeding cool your jets down, right? And I'll get it sorted tonight. Or you carry on screaming, which I don't see the point of, and upsetting my lovely, delicate followers who are all refined people. So cool your jets.
I was offended by you calling us a weirdo.
Oh, right? Get on with it. You want to hear some of the things I've been called, mate? Get on with it. I'm sure you won't die.
If I was to go full unleash on you and see what I thought, which I don't,
weirdo, you were called a weirdo. Oh my God, the world has ended. I called you a weirdo. Oh my God, maybe because you came from nowhere shouting your mouth off.
No, I asked you the same question what I've asked you now. Like I've told you, look at the videos I've actually put up. If the comments, they don't get shown because
I
I'm
haven't
shadow
seen your
banned.
videos. I haven't seen your videos.
Well, go have a look. I've already commented on your comments several times, so you must be ignoring them, Anne.
Oh God! But where do we
They've
go
come
from?
to,
Where do we go from here then?
well, I just see it as fakeness because that's how I bring up the truth and real people, you see. Because some people will say things which harmfully hurt others, not
Oh,
realizing.
oh God!
Well,
I
why
called you
you,
a weirdo. I called you a weirdo. Your life
uh,
is finished. You want to hear what I get called, mate, on a daily basis?
I get
Then you
called
can
a
have
nonsense,
something to
of
complain.
course. I get killed quick, but that you mean. But the point of it is, when you say things to people, right, it can make people
Oh, look,
really
I can't
feel.
be bothered with, right. I can't be bothered with no precious little temperamentals, right?
You always
Man
building
up,
up to something
man
there.
up, man up. Are you going to hold on to this that I called you a weirdo or no?
No, my point is, which you're not getting through. If I was to say you, I think it's weird that you act like a man and act like a woman, and dress like a man or dress like a woman. You would be insulted by some of my comments, just like you always
I
with
don't
millions.
dress as a woman. Have I got women's clothes on?
No, but you wear makeup.
No.
What do you mean,
Makeup is
no?
not exclusively a female thing. Or why don't you go to some of the
No,
African tribes and tell them that they're strange because some of them wear
but you wear
makeup?
women's jewelry. You wear women's jewelry.
How do you know it's women's? Oh, do you know what? Actually, get
Because it
lost.
is women's jewelry. I collect it myself,
Actually, you're
man.
blocked. You're getting blocked now, and
No,
you're
I'm
getting on
not
me now.
because you've got to go coming here for what you said about me and your poxy clue. Honestly,
Go on, get lost. Get lost.
you
You're
get
out.
lost, you fucking transsexual fucking hype.
There we are. You see, you always get them in the end to do it, don't you, my lovelies? You always get them to show what they are. He's a bigot. You heard what he said at the end. He's a bigot. So you'd always get that. Oh, you Heather.
Hi, I'm
See,
all right. Oh
do you
Lord, I just
see, don't you always find out? I always know. I knew this was coming. There was a reason why I must have blocked him, and there was a reason why I blocked him. And you heard right at the end why. He's got issues, that man, and he's not coming on here again. I can tell you now.
yeah, I can tell you. Yeah, when they start going after the you don't dress a certain way or
You don't dress. You're the
What
transvestite.
what
Well,
century
I'm
are you in right
sorry.
now,
I
sir?
don't wear dresses. I wear makeup. Oh my god, makeup is a woman's thing only, apparently.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I mean these things just don't really matter to most people. I tend to find, although I do live in a pretty, I'm in a housing co-op that we've got non-binary and trans people and stuff here, so
Yeah.
it's like for me, I don't care what you wear. Most days I don't wear makeup and I wear men's clothes because I love men's trousers. I love all that. So it's a real low blow to just be like, you look funny, and that's like, come on, this is about as ad hominem as you can get. It's not an argument, it's just like having a reaction to the way someone presents themselves. But how long have you been around? David Bowie wore makeup.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Georgians in the 1700s wore makeup. The Egyptian men wore makeup. The Assyrians men wore makeup. I mean, it's been a fashionable thing for a long time for men to wear makeup. Yeah, so this is it. It's just it. But I knew if I waited long enough, he'd actually revert to the hate speech. And that's most probably why I blocked him, because I couldn't remember whether they did or not. And that's actually a mod on Sean Atwood's channel, believe it or not.
Are you joking?
Yeah, no, he's a mod. Do you remember Malta Witty? Do you remember that one? Malta Witty used to have one of the Mr. Men or Little Miss things, Avies. That's another one that's a mod off there. So Sean wants to look what he's having at his mods. But I knew if I waited long enough, he'd reveal himself. But he's gone now. His history's not coming back.
Yeah, exactly. But if you don't like how someone looks or their face or their makeup or it's not your business. Like,
that's it.
You want that to be your business now. Your business is my business now. And what am I looking at?
Yeah, that's it. It's just, but again, we'll move on to other things. What should we discuss now, Heather?
Oh, it has been such a big week and all the drama. I don't know. I was just listening to the show for a bit and I had to intercept a delivery to my door. This documentary thing, I'm just trying to understand. So this Paul Ellis is putting a documentary together. I think it came up. I was watching I think it was your chat. the other day. No, it was oh God, I think it was but basically someone had said that well, never mind, because I don't want to bring that name into it necessarily, but the documentary that he's making on this, yeah, they've dropped the ball on certain things. That team, they've dropped the ball on other predators like Decca Heggie, very other dodgy people that I refer to as the Ron Swan, and they're putting their eggs in the wrong baskets. They're following the wrong cart there, and it just keeps happening. They just keep associating with people who turn out to be particularly like dodgy or outright sexual predators, just like Decca Heggie, the bare knuckle liar, Decca Heggie. So yeah, that's pretty much. I think I think most people watching this are probably agreed on the fact around Decca Heggie. I think anybody in denial of this person and the danger he represents to vulnerable people and women, if you're in doubt of that right now, then I don't know what planet you're on.
Well, the thing is, though, Heather, right? It's not for them, in my mind, to go around doing this. And these are all, they're not qualified. They show themselves to be totally unqualified at doing it. And if they do find out something, what are they going to do with the information? If no one's going to believe what Decca Heggie, if they're not going to believe anything against Decca Heggie, them coming out with interviewing people or whatever isn't going to do anything. It's already out there.
Yeah, and I think it's just if you look at the original clicks, some of these, just putting in the titles of some of these videos, even on Decca's own channels, I mean, you could get like 50K hits for mentioning it, and now it's almost like there's like 9K. It's almost like these kind of, I hope you're all right with the cough. I know there's like COVID is still going around.
No, it's nobody was the other day, about 2 days ago. I had some toast with beans on, and the toast scratched the back of my throat. God, it didn't half hit. And so I'm getting over that still. They affected the toast scratching the back of my throat. God, it hit like mad.
Oof, you must have been hungry. Just you're like, oh gosh, get it down.
I don't know what happened.
It was the beans and toast. Watch out for it. Okay, that's good. You don't have the Rona. I have COVID in my house right now, so it's all batten down the hatches and isolate and test and that kind of thing. But so they're continuing on, and these kind of it's like there has. To me, it feels like, because I went through a variation of this, and you've gone through variations where people, they need to create like almost a conspiracy around them.
Yeah.
The story, and there's kind of nothing really going on, and they're not really reputable people, and we've gone over, there's a live with Ronan and Paul Ellis last night, and I do my like in violence against women hashtag, and and there was awful things. There was like someone going like accusing you of being related to their abduction, and they just ignore the stuff. They went, and
they ignored it.
Anyone wanting to talk about that was just completely ignored.
Yeah.
And so it's not like they have repute. And so
just
drive the story by creating. They've got to be in the center of like this whole conspiracy somehow.
Just to let people know, right, what happened, and I'll name him. I've named it before. Nick Williams is a very, I'd say, poor man. It's obvious he's got serious mental health issues. Many people have had issues with him. But what he's saying now is that I'm involved with someone that he claims keeps on abducting him. And I said in the live last time, abducted, or is he being sectioned? He could see being sectioned as being abducted. That way he's
you see the pattern, and because I've interacted with this person since, I would say probably like April or May of like the prior year, whenever I became an internet conspiracy, and he does seem obsessed with being abducted. So there's been those claims, and that's it. Just seems to be something he comes around to psychologically and seems obsessed with and paranoid about. And Madeline McCann and all of this stuff, and accusing various people like me of, you're associated with someone who's associated with this abduction. And So these are the people that are being promoted by the same people making it, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Am I right? Like that they're like glossing over this madness, and
this is what finished them. This is what finished them. But also the latest on this, right, is I'll be 1 second, Carol. Another development in all this kickoff. Do you know, it's gone out of my head now. We were talking about that, wasn't it? And I was going to say something important about. Oh yeah, guess who has created another Facebook account because I blocked him twice before? Nick. This is what he does. What he does is he slags you off, calls you a predator, says that I'm abducted him and all that. Then he wants to be my friend like the next day. The man needs help, and Ronan is using him. Ronan is using him. And all that I'll turn around and say about the way the carrying on, that video I put up yesterday, the clip from the Golden Girls, if you tolerate this, if you tolerate something, you're also guilty of it. They're letting the most horrendous things be said in there. And Ronan is using Nick as a weapon. And that's what I don't like. But I'm just going to let Carol in here, Carol Hendricks.
Hello.
Hiya, Carol, love. Hello, darling.
I just had to come and tell you that your eye makeup is on point. You look fabulous.
Oh, thank you. I went for a calm down look. Hey, well, what's this? Is this the real Paddy? I don't know whether it is or not. He wants me cleared up this one. I don't know. It's not the real Paddy. If it is Paddy and you start making allegations, right? I don't know whether it's real Paddy or not. I doubt it. But, you know, if any allegations start being made. Anyway, how are you doing, Carol?
Oh, good. I wish I could get my eyes like yours.
Oh, it takes practice. It takes a lot years of practice.
I keep saying if Anne did a makeup thing, like I would be tuned in. I would be tuned in.
Oh, you'd have
the eyebrows.
You'd have to. Well, you'll campaign, right? I don't know if that is Paddy or not. I'm going to block it in a minute though, because I can't understand it. Someone that's definitely not making sense when they're tweeting, when they're making comments. Yeah, I don't think it is. Anyway, so what do you think of all this kickoff, Carol, and all that's going on at the moment?
I think because I'm in America, I'm not really hearing a lot about it. But all my life growing up in Birmingham, England, my mum always said that Carlisle was the best. And now that I know about Decca Heggie, I'm just like, nah.
Yeah. I mean, this I don't know why people, it's definitely something going on there, and I've said that. But what it is, either, and it's the YouTube rules, isn't it? Either you're dead against someone and attack them, or do you know what? Fact, not fiction. I don't know what the hell the share says. I can't remember. Do you know, you can't be like sensible about it and think, look, wait until the police deal with this issue, excuse me, and not jump in there, ruin it for everyone. But what has really turned my stomach, I'm sorry, and I can't sit back and watch this happening, is when Paddy Conroy released that video about Steve Wraith. I thought, this is going too far now. It's obvious that it's being confirmed what I've said. This label of child protection is just a front for bullying, cyberbullying, and a vendetta. And I tell you now, they want to be very careful. And I've said to Biggs, and I'm not saying it again, he could end up being banged up inside again. He could, if all the Decca's got to do is say, right, I'm fed up with this now. So it's getting silly at the moment. Very, very silly.
Pardon me, has Decca addressed any of this, or is he just keeping a low profile?
Oh God, he wasn't he? He was. See, Decca plays up to as well, because when Decca ever has something to say about all this, he what happens is he gets loads of views. So it's in the reason I don't think he's taken action, and he could take action. He could have the police round at certain people's doors, knocking on them, seizing their equipment easy, well over what's been happening. I think the reason he's not doing it is because, well, it would be twofold. One, he's going to lose that drama, which he does feed off at times. And two, if it does get to court or a prosecution, of course, they can come out with their, allegations against him. So, would you want that happening? So it can be difficult.
Yeah, and I've seen these channels with there's always like more pressure if there feels like someone's after you or you're fighting against like everyone, a big threat, like everyone, and that's kind of part of the lure of some of these channels is like something could happen. I think that's part of it, and he's obviously it does feed a model. It does feed a kind of content model on YouTube. In a lot of ways, the algorithm helps to feed what's going on with this person because, as far as I can see, particularly with the women folk out there, there's a wide awareness of what he's up to. And Carol, he's just been lying. Anytime he brings it up, he is just lying on his mama's porch. It's really frustrating because once, he's not even a very good liar. So once you figure out how it works, it's just very boring and repetitive. But he's cracked 25,000 followers now. So he's not growing really fast. And I have seen that the hit for me, I don't think the hits are getting as much.
Do you know who grew his channel?
Amp it up again. He has to amp it up again, right? There has to be an amping up if it's
happening,
yeah.
But do you know who got his channel to grow?
Who that?
Darren G. Darren G appeared on his show just to get him more followers. There we go.
It's a fickle world out there, and YouTube, it is business for these people. There is a business. Don't underestimate what people will do to keep their content going. Like I've been trained in mainstream media, and it's a pretty cutthroat world in professional media. Now you have people with a lot of power and a lot of reach and a lot of eyeballs, which is money, and they don't have professional structures. And even when you do, there's lots of unethical things that happen. There's lots of sensationalism, the drive-by media sort of aspect, because in media and journalism, if it bleeds, it leads. So you're going to prioritize a really gory car crash over some really important, maybe financial information in the news. That's just how that works. But, I think the algorithms encourage that. And then there's people looking at that making money. And that's the bottom line. It's money. And Decca Heggie is, I think, making some dosh on YouTube.
He will be. He will be. And whoever he had helping him with that documentary, that was somebody who's used to making documentaries, which, but I think that's been smashed now and put in the graveyard. See,
these people think they're documentary makers. They absolutely are never going to get their stuff on Netflix. It's not good enough for that. That POS that Decca put out, calling that an expose. I think that's come up that he got some help from a familiar face involved in the old phone call drama. So he's got help, and these people I've seen are puffing themselves up like they're gonna get this on a platform or something.
Yeah.
YouTube. And it's just in my professional opinion, it is just not gonna happen. Stop dreaming.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Do you guys remember about a year ago? Good old John Wedger was telling us all that Netflix US were going to do a deal with him about satanic ritual abuse.
Yeah, I know.
I'm still waiting, John.
Yeah.
They've all done that. They've all gone, I'm going to be the next big Tiger King or something.
Oh, no, he said he had a deal in the world.
Yeah, he said he had it.
They will say that because in the world of producing a film, obviously, if you're like, I have a pot of money here, then someone is going to maybe also give you more of a pot of money. That's how that you're often matching funds or going to a producer and other producers or trying to go to the Arts Council and get partial funding. So if you puff your chest up and be like, yeah, there's lots of interest in this. I've already got movies, we've got distribution, like Netflix, then people are going to give you money, but they're lying.
Yeah,
lying because I've been around it for real, and these people are lying.
I know. I don't know why people bother lying about things like that, because it will always catch up with them, and they'll be outed for it. So there's no point. Like, you're best keeping your mouth shut. And usually, if this deal's going on in the background, you have to. Who was that one? One of the housewives. Oh God, which one was it? And she got pulled up by this TV presenter because she accused her of lying, because she said she wasn't going to be on the Real Housewives again. And she said no. She said the contract hadn't been signed. I was offered it, but the contract hadn't been signed. And that's the truth. Until the contract is signed, keep your mouth shut, because it could be dragged away from you at any moment.
Yeah, and like I often say that the film industry is like tighter than the CIA. There's serious NDAs. There's projects I've worked on that are like, not here, there, nothing crazy, but it's just non-disclosure agreements, because you can't talk about the projects or in development.
Oh, you can't talk it.
And it's really tight, and that's the kind of thing. If you leak it, they will find you. Like Sony will find you.
Yeah.
So it was always one of the first things, we taught students when I was lecturing. It was like, look, this business is serious, and there's non-disclosures, and you can't go leaking test copies of X-Men. They will find you. Like, you can't do any of this. Like, you have to be tight.
Yeah. Oh God, not half.
And they will never hire you ever again once you've done it one time.
Oh, he did not have a Netflix deal.
No way. I mean, what you could just, it's not their kind of thing, is it? It's just not their kind of.
Well, his production values are awful. Remember when he went around London with Nikki Cooper?
Oh, Nikki
that was
Cooper.
Bloody awful. And what I want to know is, because I've missed out, why is Nikki Cooper and Brian I'm a Dickhead Harvey mates? When did they join up?
Oh, that's been a while now. Yeah, and she was on the Facebook, Brian Harvey's Facebook, and all that.
Can I just clarify something, Carol? Is this Nikki Cooper who admitted when she was being interviewed with John Wedger that she was recruiting from train stations for £500 ago in the 80s, which would be worth over 3,000 now, young girls for a corrupt police officer? Yes. I think that was it, wasn't it? That
was her.
And was that the Brian Harvey as well, that when he was 24 was caught dating a schoolgirl? I think it was, wasn't it?
Yes, but now they are both going to stop it together.
But Brian Harvey, the great defender of women and children, do not forget.
How are you, Steve?
I'm good, Anne. How are you? I've just been recording a Newcastle podcast, so I didn't catch any of the stuff that you had. I did jump into the comments there, but hi, how are you doing? How are you, Heather? How are you, Carol?
Hey, good. Steve. Always nice to chat.
Good to see you. Good to see you too.
So it's all kicking off again, isn't it? It never stops kicking off.
Well, it does. I mean, honestly, from my perspective, I try just to ignore it, Anne. It's just ongoing, and we know the caliber of the people who are making some of these videos and allowed to have these YouTube channels. Unfortunately, rules and regs, because of the way certain people do their podcasts, mean that you can't get them struck off, you can't get them taken down. Which these people, some of them are unwell. It has to be said. And they need a bit of help, and I would say. But it's all kicking off, and it continues to kick off. I'm sure you've seen more of this than I have. I'm relatively new to YouTube. I came about during the lockdown era. I think you were out a little bit earlier than me. But it's not nice at times, but you've just got to crack on and move on with it.
Sometimes it feels like really, really bad tabloid press or something, like like the worst tabloid press, and that's kind of like the side industry of people reporting on the people or something like that. It all starts getting kind of confusing and muddled. I don't know if you've experienced that, Steve, because I'm newish to the scene myself.
Yeah, I mean, it does, but it's just, unfortunately, lots of people get involved, lots of people jump in, and, lots of people are trying to make things their own business, you know what I mean, when it's not their business. And that, you are right, things do get confused, things do get mixed up, but, you deal with it the way you deal with it. I think, like I've said many, many times on my own podcast, when you put your head above the parapet, it's there to be shot at, but, there should be rules and regs. Things
there's a line.
Yeah.
There's a line you don't go under. Now, I just said before, You've said, I've said, time and time again, we do not think that Paddy is any danger to any children or young people, have we? We've said that out clearly. We've said that a couple of times. I think what it is, it's just gone to a level below now, and it's, you know, it's not right. You don't make an allegation like that against someone unless you know for certain that it's, you know, that's happening. But
it's not nice at all. I mean, these things have gone on for too long, though. There's plenty of water under the bridge between all of these people, and it's just unfortunate that certain people decide to go down certain routes with the way that they discuss these things. And there's nothing you can do about it, Anne. Until there's more control on social media, more control on YouTube. Then you're never going to be able to change these things, unfortunately. What will be will be. I've said to you before, I just think that there will be an unpleasant end to all of this at some time. I think it'll be an unpleasant end, and there's nothing we can do about it other than protect ourselves.
I think it's getting to the point where something's going to give in the end, and someone's going to get banged up. You can see it coming. You can see it coming from a mile off. I can, because it's getting more and more wound up all the time. And all that I say is Decca Heggie worthy, because they all seem to think that it's that Decca Heggie somehow is the person that they're all trying to expose or whatever. But the fact is, the dragon, if they're showing themselves up more than they are him, actually, at the moment.
I was trying to go back in time to see, just trying to rewind to see where all of this started, and it's very difficult to pinpoint when all of that aggro started on YouTube. But it was down to that particular situation and that particular person. It was around that time, But to actually pinpoint, where it all started to go out of control and where it all went wrong, it's very, very difficult, Anne.
Oh, it is. So what's your thoughts, Heather and Carol, on what we've just been saying? Any pointers?
Well, I mean, there's the idea, and there's certain watchdogs in this whole arena who are just watching out, and keeping an eye on people like, the Decca Heggies and all that stuff, the dodgy things. And then there's the people pretending to be the watchdogs. And you cannot trust them, and that's the one. But I also thought what Steve mentioned earlier on about the mental health of some of these people, which we did briefly touch upon earlier, and that is a concern, when basically people who are mentally unstable in certain ways, the ups and downs of the internet, some of this is fueling, I don't know how much of it, if they need the attention from it, but certainly when you're involved in it day and night in that, and there's, if I put myself in the perspective of, the Decca Heggies, and I don't know exactly, what mental issues or some of these people with their mental instability, but it is almost like watching like a car crash. It's like there seems to be a dependency on it, yet like there's an instability to their personality, and even people with very strong personalities can have a hard time dealing with the intensity of what happens when you're making when you go viral, like the intensity of the attention, the comments. So even very strong-minded people can have a hard time navigating that. But watching people who in some cases are basically sex pests and potential dangers to people they may be interacting with, but also have mental health problems in a way that should be recognized. And I think it's very easy to just dump on someone and be like, they are just evil, they are a lying sex pest. But there is also the human being there. But at the end of the day, some people are dangerous, and they have to be I guess handled in a way that keeps them from hurting other people and themselves.
Well, you see, there's a lot to do with, as I've said, mental health issues, and certain people you can't, like I say, Nick Williams and Jodie Woodsman, you can't turn around and take what they do or say because you can tell they're struggling with something they're struggling with, and I wouldn't want to be, especially Nick Williams.
And who's manipulating them? Like with
exactly, Ronan
with the Herbert guy. Remember when he was going to go down and sort Sean Atwood out? He was obviously being manipulated.
Oh yeah.
To do that, to take down Sean. And I hate to give him props, but he handled that. I listened to that live and I was like, wow, he's withdrawing his complaint. He's played you all.
Oh God, that is, do you know what? I tell you, when Sean did that, he played a blinder. Because now Marvin Habers, and I said this when it first happened, Marvin Habers will always have it over his head that his channel would not exist only for Sean Atwood, and that's that must be difficult to swallow. Very, very difficult to swallow.
And he was very vulnerable to whoever was putting, I mean, we know who it was, but he was mentally ill and vulnerable. So you've got your mentally ill people who are manipulating, and then you've got your very vulnerable people that are manipulated into doing, you know, oh, let's go to Sean Atwood's house and I'll take him. And
yeah, it was just what it was. It's just absolutely stupid how they carry on. But I know the way of things because Sean's right in one way, because I saw it happen and it happened to me. There was manipulation going on and trying to bring him down. But I think the way he sees it, as I said to him, I said, you're blowing it all out of proportion. I said, you're giving it too much. The fact is, when his channel shrunk, which it has tremendously in views, that's no one could pull that off. That's an audience saying they're either bored or whatever. And this is what I'm saying as well. Every podcaster that sticks to, let's say, true crime or whatever, eventually someone's going to come along that's more interesting, fresher, newer. So they start losing the views. People want something new. They want something different. And you've got to do the Madonna, haven't you? Madonna never goes out of fashion because Madonna always knows to change herself, change her style.
Reinvention.
Right, yeah, you've got to reinvent yourself, and then you'll stay. Well, you'll see me doing it someday. I'll be coming on here with a big long beard, talking like that, bragging about all the ladies I've impregnated. I'm telling you, telling you, it will happen. You just reinvent yourself all the time, and that's it.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah,
like I think I had mentioned before, with these, reinventing yourself. You know, there's a lot of eyeballs and power that like more mainstream publications would love to have. If you're running a viral campaign for a film of any size, if you're getting like 50K hits, 100K hits on one of your videos, this is like really good and high engagement levels. And so you've got people with a tremendous amount of power, but with not a lot of they don't have professional media planners.
Yeah.
Like Sean Atwood, if he had a professional media planner, he would not be running his channel this way. I guarantee you. Like he's shooting. And so you have so much eyeballs and power, but like, and I'm not saying it all should be professionalized. I'm just saying there's an era in which people don't have a lot of experience of how to sort of manage that. You know, they're going to make mistakes because they're not having someone to like mold their brand for them and like basically tell them what to do, like and how to do it.
I think what is this, Heather said this time and time again, when it comes to networks and someone gets a network contract or they get taken on by the networks, terrestrial television, what happens then? You've got PR, and PR, no, we've had this, discussed this before, and PR makes sure that it's go wrong. We said this about Video Craig. I said this. He hasn't got a PR team there saying, no, you're not going to say this, you're not going to do that. On YouTube, you've got to be your own PR. And as you say, some people have terrible PR. I think James English has bloody good. Whoever he has, I think he does have good PR because he knows how to present himself.
And some people just strike it right. Some people are just really naturally good at it. They didn't have to go to like a university or nothing like that.
Some people know.
And some people, like the value of YouTube is that things became overproduced somewhat in media, over managed, and people like more of something raw. But at the same time, if you're dealing with like the kinds of revenues that people are getting when they have channels like 700K, and these are like, that's serious money, that's business, that's something else entirely. That's a brand. And so, yeah, it's like, I don't think any of these guys really have management, but also part of the charm is that people can appreciate that there isn't that filter between the content maker and what you're seeing.
Go on, Steve. Were you going to say something then?
No, I agree. I think PR is very important, and like you say, it all depends on whether the person is natural at doing that kind of thing. I've self-promoted for years, but obviously being an actor, you have to do that. Like we've both been in the same industry, Anne, and you understand that the importance of that. If I don't keep myself relevant and put myself out there, then the likelihood is that somebody else is going to come along and be able to fill that gap, and do what you like to do. So you have to reinvent yourself. I've reinvented myself many times. I've been a doorman, as you know, I've been been an actor, and then I've worked in various other industries, and I get bored easily doing one thing, and I don't like to work for other people. I like to work for myself, with the exception of the acting, which where you're working with a crew and a director, etc. But yeah, reinvention is really important. But I agree with you. I think the PR side of things is so important, and eventually people will get bored. YouTube also have a review system, and there was a review recently where they take off a lot of the fake accounts on that are following you. So I remember I think when I just started becoming a YouTuber at the start of lockdown, I think I lost about 300 subscribers because they'd knocked off a load of fake accounts, just accounts which are dead accounts. So I'm not sure how many I lost this time round. It didn't seem to be a great deal, but then others, I think others may have lost more. But you're right. People do need to reinvent themselves.
Oh, God,
you generally just don't want sock puppets anyways, because in the kind of marketing that like I've done, it's like, you really need to understand real eyeballs and real people. And there's going to be a certain amount of fake people, but like that's the values in the real eyeballs. So if you have a channel and you have 2 million people following you, but half of them are fake, there's no value to that. I think that's probably YouTube's way of like also for themselves, like YouTube's all about these eyeballs, and even the smallest content makers that aren't properly monetized, YouTube, the house is still winning. Like they're still getting something from that. They're still getting advertising revenue, and it's not good for their content creators to have fake followings. So it's all like really weird and numbers based, but we tend to say in marketing, quality, not quantity. So if you have 1,000 really engaged followers, that's way better than 10,000 followers where most of them are fake. It's not going to get you value.
I'll have something to say that in a minute, but first of all, Sarah, right, just going on about me eyeliner. Hard to say, you won't know this, Steve, but eyeliner is like the one that takes the most attention, and eyebrows perfecting. If ever you go into this look, which I doubt you will, but if you do, it's always got to be liquid eyeliner. I can't remember which one I use. I get it off Amazon, but you have to use a liquid eyeliner. Don't use the pencils. The pencils are a nightmare. They just don't work properly. They don't. But also, what you were saying then? What were you saying, Heather? I've just forgotten it again. What did you just finish off saying?
Just marketing flim flam. Just that kind of, it's I can see why YouTube would take away fake subs, because YouTube. They're
that's
advertisers.
Yeah, this is what I want to. This is what I want to say about that, right? This YouTube channels, right, that have a few 100,000 subs, and they make millions off YouTube. Yet there's channels that have millions of subs, and yet they don't make anywhere near that. And the fact is, it's not how many you have subs yet, it's how many clicks you get. It's all based on clicks. Of course, to get monetized, you've got to have over there, isn't it, 1,000 followers? So you've got to have over
followers or 8,000 watch hours.
So you got to get, but it's not how many subs you. People get, they want loads and loads. It's the clicks that matter. It's not how many subs you've got. Once, because I say there are some with only a few 100,000 followers, and they make an absolutely ton of money. So you're right in saying that it's quality that you get, not quantity. Anyway, Steve, we'll have to start winding up soon, won't we? Because you've got your news thing in half an hour.
Yeah, I just saw you were talking. I saw what your subject matter was, and I saw the was it the guy who came on? Was it Hans Tice? But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to watch that back, so I'll go and watch that before I go on our live. But
well, it's sad. He just needled me because his attitude was totally off. You don't come on asking someone, you know, I've been chatting, screaming like that, and going on. I mean, someone called him a weirdo. I'm sorry, he was shouting and that. He wants to see what I've been called every single day. I get called the most horrendous things. And then I waited. And right at the end, he blew his own gasket and showed that that's most probably why I did. I can't remember blocking him, but I most probably did because he said something offensive that was offensive. And at the end, he came out with this offensive thing. But I'm glad that I'm so important to his life that he kicks off like that. But I was willing to let him. You heard me, I'll unblock you, but he kept on going on. And I thought, you know, I can't be bothered getting in the situation, and I can't, Steve, where people, they either let things go and start anew or they don't. You can't go hanging on to things, and it's YouTube, you're going to get dramas and things happening like that. So anyway, he can entertain himself on Sean Atwood's. He's one of Sean Atwood's mods, so Sean should know who he is because Sean never lets anyone on as a mod that he doesn't know. So that's that thing. But do you know what I forgot to do as well? I'm going mad. I was going to do it online, do it on this. I bought myself a lovely, well, I thought it was lovely, looks lovely, a Jammy Dodger muffin from Morrison's, and I was going to do a taste test online. And I was going to give myself some money, you know. I was going to say, if someone pays me a $5, donates a $5, I'll eat it sexily. You know, I'll do it really sexily. It looks like a boob. It does.
I'll
look like
donate 10.
A lot of YouTubers are doing OnlyFans these days. It's yeah.
Well, we are discussing that on the news show tonight, aren't we, Anne?
Oh, wow.
Definitely. But anyway, it looks like a boob. It's got a red heart on it, but looks like a nipple. And so I can do something really dirty with that. Anyway,
probably not best to bring that up with Lee later on, otherwise.
I'll try not to. I'll be going out getting the money. But anyway, I was going to do that, and I thought someone could pay me a $5 to eat it sexily. And if someone gives me a $10, I won't eat it sexily. I'll just do it straightforward because you don't want to see me doing sexy. It's not a pleasant thing. It gives people nightmares. I'm telling you, it does. It does. But I forgot to bring me a Jammy Dodger muffin up here. So what I'm going to do, because I'm going to need to take a little break because we're starting on yours, aren't we, Steve?
8 o'clock, yeah.
8 o'clock.
You're on, Lee's on, Patricia and Cookie the night again. Cookie didn't get much to say last week, but I think he's going to stick his oar in tonight. We have got plenty to talk about. He was very quiet, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. We're talking about some interesting things. We are, so tune in. But I hope everything eases out with I'll say again to MMA Philosophy. I'm not suggesting, and I never did suggest there was anything wrong with your around children. But I hope this all gets sorted out and people wake up and realise that child protection is not a thing to launch vendettas over. It isn't. So anyway, Heather, thank you, darling. Carol, thank you. And please come on again. Please do, because it was too short, way too short. And see you later, Steve. Take care.
And everyone in the chat, bye-bye, me darlings. Bye-bye.